it's time to make the side dish, which is orzo cooked in the style of a risotto. If you are so inclined, you could call it risotto if you want to impress somebody at the dinner table. But the feature of this particular dish is fennel that we're gonna caramelize in the pan with some onions, and it adds this sweet, savory flavor that I think is the best risotto around. All right, so here's a nice head of fennel. I'm gonna cut off the stems. Now sometimes if you get fennel that has these beautiful fronds, I like to set those aside and I'll mince them up and I'll use them almost as a fresh herb. The key to cutting fennel, or at least how I cut fennel, is I cut it in half and then you expose this core, and I go in with the tip of the knife and I sort of cut out a pyramid shape of the core. You can kind of see where it is and where it isn't. All right, go on with the tip of the knife, cut it out. Now some of the layers of the fennel fall off, and that's okay. Some of these outer ones are a bit leathery and brown. You don't want to cook those. They never soften up right. And then if some big pieces fall off the tops, I think that's great. It makes them easier to cut. And then you just kind of cut them into lengths and then chop them up. You want to chop them pretty fine. You want them to mix nicely with the onions that we're cooking. Lots of ways to cut fennel, but making sure they're all roughly the same sized pieces is the important thing so that they cook at the same rate. Into the bowl with the onion it goes. That's just one onion. And we're gonna cook these together in a little butter in the saucepan until they're nice and caramelized. That takes about 10 minutes. You can see that onion and fennel are nicely browned and softened, and it's time to add the garlic. 2 cloves of garlic right through the garlic press into the pot. Some fennel seed, a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seed, really reinforces that fennel flavor, and just a little bit of red pepper flakes for heat. Now you only need to cook this about 30 seconds till you can smell it, and then in goes the orzo. 1 cup of orzo, and we're gonna toast this and stir it into the onions and the fennel and all those spices. Let it cook until it's slightly toasted, which takes about 1 minute. Next up, the wine. 1/4 cup of dry white wine goes in. I like to measure it by eye right from the bottle. And you want to cook that until it's evaporated, about 1 minute. And then in goes the broth. 3 3/4 cups of chicken broth. And that's the right amount for 1 cup of orzo. Add that all in, make sure you scrape up any browning from the bottom of the pot. And we're just gonna let this simmer until the orzo is nice and tender and has that creamy consistency like risotto. It takes about 15 minutes. This risotto has been simmering away and it is perfect. You can see it's nice and tender and it has that risotto-like quality. And that light brown color, that's because of all the caramelization on the fennel and the onions. I'm gonna scrape any browning off the sides, make sure all that flavor gets in. I'm actually gonna turn the heat off. Now it's time to finish it with some Parmesan, like you would a risotto. So here I have some finely grated Parmesan. It's about 1 cup finely grated Parmesan. Stir that in, let it melt. Oh. This orzo is just such a crowd pleaser. Thanks for watching. What'd you think? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're excited to cook this week. You can get today's recipes and more for free at our website.